Well, we're back live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Dun, dun. Yes, we are. We are live today with a guest. But to kick it off, like I always do, you are listening to Renovation Nation live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, owner of RTM Roofing, host of this crazy show. Coming at you from Studio 378 today, but over the interwebs and airwaves of SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. And by the way, you can listen in tonight for the encore if you missed any of the show today. And you can also catch us online. Like I said earlier, we've got the face for radio, and I don't, but he does. So you can get us, find the social media sites. And let me say this too, and make sure so the office don't get mad at me. If it's time for your annual inspection, which it is, or maybe even your inaugural inspection, roof inspection, get proactive before the storms get here, before the rains, the winds, everything that we get come spring. And if you're not from here, we get all 4 seasons. If it's time, and it is, call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, and those skylight needs. And by the way, the website's still down, so you can call or text the office, but it's getting a new site built. Sitting here with Doc Hollywood, by the way. I've got Doc Hollywood in the house today on his first annual visit. I guess it is your first annual, though.
It's my first
annual. It really is. Yeah. So, we were leaving there, we're talking Bonnaroo, and I was really wanting to get to speak to, people always go, let me rewind. When I had Eric Brown here, bass player for Larry Fleet, known him, we all knew him, we've known him for years. And he's been in music for years. He's done every other job under the sun just about for years too, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden now, out of seemed like nowhere, Larry Fleet goes kaboom. And they're, one of the top country artists, in the country now, in the world, whatever. They're A level. They're all A level regardless, but they're hitting it, right?
They're hitting it right now.
And I joked with him, I'm like, that happened overnight, didn't it? that was quick. That was overnight success, Eric. Yeah, it's not, right?
To him, I know it's not.
I know it's not. And just like you, all of a sudden, people will say, and rightly so, it's a success working from where you went working with Luke Bryan and the other artists that you've worked with and other things that you've done. But it didn't happen overnight. You don't immediately come just straight out of internship or whatever or whatever it is and jump right into a spot like that. You've got to have experience, and showing what you did at Bonnaroo for years, we did music. We did a lot of music, me and you together, right. and over the years doing with Redstone and all this other stuff. But
that was something fun to do, though. For me, it was.
But that's training, though.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
There is
it's relationships that you build with people and stuff like that.
And the ability to do it and not worry about it.
Right.
I mean, you're going to make errors, but jump up and do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot. People can say, I can do that, until you jump up and come in here and the lights are on and the camera's on you.
Or you jump up on a stage.
I'll take a stage.
2 songs.
I'll take a stage before daggum camera. Because cameras are like the light that comes on, It's, something's watching you, and you're constantly trying to think about what you're saying when normally you don't care what you're saying because it's normally not being recorded. But my point was is what do you think Bonnaroo did for you to get you where you're at now, or at least that experience?
It's relationships that I made with those people, because I would go to Bonnaroo, then I would go to Coachella, or I'd go to Stagecoach, or I'd go to Louisville. All the festivals that I went and did, it would be the same bunch pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then those other people would branch out and started doing other festivals. So then I would go and do other festivals too. And it was the people that I met that got me where I am today.
And when you say, I don't mean to interrupt, but when you say going to work the festivals, give us a day in Doc's world.
A festival day?
A festival day, like during the Bonnaroo years.
Okay, like you said, instead of 6 a.m., I would be running through the campgrounds, honking my horn, yelling, get up with a bullhorn about 7:45, because I'd have to go pick up our stage managers from the hotel. Mm-hmm. And then I would go back there, and then it would be like, what runs do we have today? Where we need to go pick people up today? And then it was like, go check on all the stage managers, see what they needed at all the different tent stages, and then the main and second stage. Then it would just be like random stuff during the showtime. Before the showtime, I would go and the trucks would unload something at a stage, and I would go and escort them to a lot, which was the Home Depot lot,
Mm-hmm.
And then I would park them and make a map so we could get them in and out if we needed to. And then it was just kind of random stuff, but it was a lot of working with other departments and other people is what it was. And I think that's why they call me the mayor too, is because I could go to a department and be like, hey, I need this, and if you need something, you hit me up.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
You're like Red from Shawshank. You can get anything.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. and the guy that I was working for at the time there, my boss there,
Who's that?
That would be Haddon Hipsley. He was Fish's production manager for many, many years, but he was our production manager for that whole area, the whole Bonnaroo. And he knew that I knew the people, and so he would send me, hey, can you get this? And I'd go and get it, or well, we need this, or whatever. Can you go get us this? And so that's what I would do.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Yes.
Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Let me go see what I could do is what I would say. I would never promise anything.
Okay, so now the day started. The shows are the beginning. Early shows are going.
The shows are going. That was the easy part because I could go and sit down. There wasn't much going on. That was the time where you go and say, all right, I'm going to go out and go watch this artist. And I'm going to go, here's who I want to see. And that's the time I would take for it. That's your downtime you get.
Before you got with Luke, what artist did you meet that you got starstruck a little bit? Is there anybody that's ever sort of made you where you didn't want to talk or got nervous? Because you talk a lot like I do, and usually not scared of anybody.
Probably, but it was after I was with Luke. When I met Lionel Richie in Mexico, that was kind of a starstruck moment for me. I never did really. I would get a little nervous or anxious around him, but not. Nothing like crazy fan or anything like that. But when I met him, it was like, holy cow, I used to watch this guy on, the TV in the 80s and he was so nice and he was so kind. It was just, that was starstruck. But other than that, I done pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I just try to say, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And treat them like they're
themselves.
They're Chad Rowland or Dalton Unley or something.
Yeah.
And
Call me Mr. Rowland, please.
Mr. Rowland. And so that gets you farther.
Yeah.
Instead of you being, you got to take that energy and pull that energy back and put it inside and wait till you meet them, and then you can go cry and suck your thumb later.
Sitting here with Doc Hollywood, extraordinaire, live on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. You're listening to Renovation Nation. Sitting here talking. It's another music thing. We're going to get into some painting stuff because I definitely want to talk about that, because anybody that does anything in music at one point in time, if not still, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs.
Absolutely.
Not just in music. You got to
have a side hustle gig.
You do.
All the people I work with right now, they all have side hustle gigs too. When we're off tour, they're side hustling too.
That's right.
Well, you have to.
And now when you let's flash forward a little bit. When you get to being with Luke, what's a day in? I guess there's different things, whether you're down in Mexico or actually on tour. If you're on tour, what's a day like? Show day, not drive
show days. I mean, we roll into the city. Either we bus or fly in. Fly in the night before, or we bus in, and I get up at 7:30 and I go in and I find the dressing rooms and start picking out where I'm going to put him in the band, and massage therapist and wardrobe and 3 opening acts and stuff, and kind of get my wits about where I'm at in the venue. And then I go and we'll go ahead and put our signs up. Me and my production assistant, my tour assistant.
Do you make new signs each time, or do you?
No, Vanilla does that. Our tour assistant does that. He goes ahead and laminates the signs that we have for the year. So we go through and we put, we stick them up or whatever. And then I'll go do coolers for all the crew. I have a front of house, stage left, stage right, lighting, rigging, and I go stock those and take them out to the guys and put them in the different places. And then I'll start working on dressing rooms, like opening acts. Sometimes they pre-buy for us, and sometimes they don't. So it's just getting the stuff that I need and getting them in the dressing rooms.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I've got many more questions now. But we're sitting here talking with Doc Hollywood, extraordinaire as I'm going to call him. Sitting here talking about, number one, it doesn't come easy, and you got to put your time in, and there's no telling where you'll end up if you do that. Well, come on back in 3. You're listening to Renovation Nation. We're not done yet. See you.